Can't be. Look at numbers you will look at. Saudi Arabia's oil revenue is about $450 million. And some of you may be surprised that India's IT revenue is $250 billion. $250 billion. Is that revenue because there was a foreign investment into India? No, people came, we were running, they came, IBMs and all that. They realized I can leverage India and then go and bring revenue from outside the world. So I am just throwing this contrarian view that for Nepal, I think it should be worth considering finding people, our diaspora people who have done very well in the IT sector, like the way you see from Saudi, a Nepali comes, not only he comes, but he brings a big baksas of something. So if we can attract people from outside to come themselves, set up here, bring money, and build up the economy. Government role, in my view, should be more like a catalyst. In India, the entire, I'm using India as an example, entire development of IT sector was despite of government, not because of government. Only great contribution in India, government did what they stayed away from them. They allowed Infosys and Wipro and others, because this whole mindset of ownership, entire thing is, and you go to every government department, procurement, you want to hold it. Look at Encel person. Imagine if somebody needed a mobile services and they started thinking about multiplexes and PBXs and fiber optic. No, what you need is a dial tone. A dial tone, if some company can provide, you can do the entire telephony based on that thing which is in the cloud. The cloud people talk about now, but telephony had been in the cloud forever, from the beginning. So government's role has to be more in terms of providing, ensuring the public services are given. The private companies have to give that services, build it. So I have a little contrarian view. I think for Nepal to do differently, even the World Bank and ADB should start thinking, let them find a ways. I have, next question I'll tell you, how we can get money without going to them with a begging bowl, give me more money and give me more money. Okay? So I'm just going to leave it at that.
No, it's a very interesting question. I'm sorry, I'm just going to take a privilege of being the moderator here just to pick a little bit of this story. And in fact, you mentioned the Department of Defense in the US had a huge role, in fact, absolutely catalytic. More fruitfully applied. So I think that's an interesting viewpoint. Let me turn over
30 seconds, if you allow me.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. It's not only in the development of internet what Department of Defense did it. Even today, the latest and the greatest fighter planes United States make, because Department of Defense allows Raytheons and others that go and build something crazy. Go and do it, something crazy. Here it's a prove it to me. Are you the lowest bidder? And do I have the right connection with you? So that is not the way to build the industry. What I'm trying to say that We have to maybe create a sandbox of development of ICT sector. I'm going to use in a technical way, and then allow at least a small sandbox where we can say, demonstrate, yes, why not Nepal? If Bangalore can do, Hyderabad can do. I had seen Hyderabad growing, and I'm going to stop here, that how Chandrababu Naidu did it. He took a challenge of shifting focus from Bangalore. It was the year 2000. Hyderabad, ground up, he built it. Today, Hyderabad is one of the top.
Yeah, thank you. And in fact, this also reminds me of this one important thing. Sorry, Japur, we're going to come to you in just a second. Example of Hyderabad, of course, and the role of the government there. One of the things also about the Indian IT story in some ways, what a lot of people may often forget is how closely tied it was to the nuclear program and the space program in India. And at that time, in the 50s, as you know, India just got independent in 1947, and a few years later, there were already satellites being constructed in that country and being launched. And as you know, today, India is among the big commercial providers as well of space launch services in the world. There were lots of questions being raised at that time, that is this a worthwhile investment? But it was a kind of visionary mindset that I think pays off, whether it is to do with the private sector and enabling those entrepreneurs and innovators, or it is to do with creating the right kind of environment and investing in the people, really, to build up that kind of ecosystem there. Sorry, Japur, we took a bit of the stage away from you. Over to you to talk a little bit about foreign investment, private investment. Over to you.
I still think that discussion was very valuable, because it's not about black or white, and it's not about is it important or is it not important. I think foreign direct investment is important. Is it critical? Not necessarily, but is it important? Yes. We know all these good cases around the world, India, China, Dubai, Singapore, Saudi Arabia. Don't they have money? They have a lot of money, right? And are they still hunting for the investor? They do. So it's not only about the money attraction, which is pretty much as an oxygen, I would say a shot of adrenaline into the economy, right? We need investment to make sure that we move fast and we won't be behind. But what is more important, what comes along with the foreign direct investment is obviously the expertise. It's a different point of view, and this is what actually makes it more lucrative, because it becomes a more strategic investment into the future. I mean, Ansell has a great story. I mean, again, I'm repeating myself, but when Nordic company came here, there have been a lot of know-how. A lot of people who work as of today in Ansell, they've been trained by European standards. And that is the quality that is cascaded down to the customers, right? And every Nepali is getting equally good, that is doubtable now, but equally good quality of service with LTE. Now the job is to make sure, and my job as a CEO is to make sure that I attract not only investments from my shareholders as a capex that required for this business, but I also invite the know-how from the rest of the world. We recently signed this MOU with Etisalat, which is almost #1 brand in the region. So it's not about investing money, it's about the skills, it's about access to the knowledge that we as a company have, and obviously country as Nepal should keep the door open for those things that we as a country can benefit, right? But the question was two parts. It's the importance of the foreign investment, which is pretty much important from two point of view, financial and expertise-wise, and the second is what are the obstacles, you said, no? Mm-hmm. Okay, let me take a long note I have. No, but then, listen guys, we have obstacles as a company. We have obstacles as an individual in our life. Life is all about facing the challenge and overcoming it together, right? So, in industry, we have a lot of obstacles. Somehow revenue is going down, as I mentioned to you. The profitability is going down, as I mentioned to you. And so, we as a company, we want to give to Nepalese, it's not business only for us. It's connectivity, it's access, it's a bigger mission. Ansell is huge in terms of the contribution to the country economy. 300 billion Nepali rupees paid in taxes and fees. Isn't it huge? It's huge. Thank you. At least one person. No, but then, guys, Ansell's story is misinterpreted. Ansell, and not only Ansell, industry, telecom industry, ICT industry, undervalued, underestimated, and neglected to a certain extent. I'm glad we're having this panel. I hope it's going to be the next year or whenever these panels will be more, because this is important. Nepali people deserve to have access to the latest technology. And if we're not going to take care of the main players, those who are taking care of industry, we're putting the future into the risk. So obviously, obstacles, plenty of them. We have a new chairperson of in NTA, we have a minister who is very advanced, and I'm looking forward with a very much of optimism that we can overcome. Difficult times create strong leaders, and I think we have them in place. We just need to be bold in making those decisions, having this dialogue on difficult topics, and not to be scared or not to be disappointed by having them. It's fine. I'm sure every single country has it. Every successful country has those obstacles. But what they do well, they discuss, they make decisions, they take responsibility, and they define their future. So, yes, we need foreign direct investments. I think so.
Let me ask you to hold your microphone. We're going to go in reverse order for the last question, and I'd like to thank everyone for keeping to time, also allowing a little bit of banter among us. Jabur, I'll start with you this time, just going in reverse order for the last question that we have. And it's in a way a little bit of a follow-up to what you were just talking about, which is if you had to think about one, and this is of course the same question for all the panelists, if you had to think about one area of focus for investment in the digital economy in Nepal, what would that be? And if you had to think of one, let's say, value proposition to share with an outside investor, what would that be? So one area of investment and one value proposition for Nepal. Over to you.
I won't say it's Ansel, even it is. But, you know, for those who know me, they've heard me saying, me as Jabor was professionally born in Nepal. I came here first time as getting the foreign assignment, and I just came back a year ago to get this role and see what I can do in terms of helping the company and country. I think what impressed me between my first assignment almost 15 years ago and now is youth. I think the young generation of Nepalese are so different. They're impressively advanced, impressively out-of-box thinking, and I think this is one of the biggest assets Nepal can actually invest into. And we as a company, we actually identify youth as our area of investment. We have a lot of CSR initiatives, right? But obviously, youth is going to be our priority, and I think I see a lot of stakeholders, including government, paying a lot of attention. So I would say that would be my one answer to any questions you're going to ask in terms of the future and investment opportunity of Nepal. Youth, very promising. And if we will manage that investment in the proper way, and it's again, not only about the money, and keep them in the country, not locking them, but making the country more lucrative. And again, companies like Ansel, we work a lot to make sure that those people have opportunities to actually realize and execute their talents and feel fulfilled. Because I'm sure every Nepali wants to stay and make this country great and very different. And I think we have a huge potential there. Thank you for the question.
Sure, of course. Dr. Jha, over to you.
Before I answer my question, I'll go back to Jabor. I think I missed conveying that there are areas of heavy infrastructure, like telecom is a heavy infrastructure. Oil, Saudi Arabia, all these are infrastructure. China, the world's factory, is infrastructure. Focus. You definitely need foreign direct investment, significant, humongous money you need. What I was trying to say that in the knowledge economy, the real investment is the people. If Nepal, if tomorrow by magic wand, or if I had the say in the office of Minister Rekha Sharma, that Adityaji, you go and ensure that 1,000 people total are trained in next 18 months in AI and Java and some of these areas. You do that, read the book by Lee Kuan Yew, where he talks about how precision industry came to Singapore by just having 300 trained people in the precision industry, and the Swiss companies flocked there. So I was trying to say that you should differentiate that for this economy to grow, and I'm taking example of India again, is that we need to let these software guys and services guy, how they can grow that thing. And now coming back to your question, what is the two areas, as you said? One is that we would like to invest. I would invest in retooling, reskilling, and skilling of young people in this country. What I just said, that let's make a national mandate. I wish World Bank would fund it and ADB will fund it and bring people like us who are much older now. I'm in a different stage of my life, that how would we have a world-class group of 1,000, 1,500? I bet you Apple will take a beeline here. If there are 100 people who can do that kind of programming here, they will come directly. Not investment, they'll bring their business here. So I would invest in the area of training, retraining, and skilling the young people, or the people who are professionals. That's the one thing. If I had to choose how I would like to build something, I think I would like to say that we should think in a very different paradigm. There should be a paradigm shift. This whole approach, anything you want to do in Nepal, has to go through the bidding process, budgeting. There are people like us, we would bring money, the service, everything. You just pay for what you use. And I will take the telephone is a great example. I ran the national procurement system for this country for 5 years. If I had a way and I said, I don't need your money. Let me buy the entire hardware, build the software. You decide the policy. You become the police of the service, policy of the thing. We will build the entire thing. I don't need your money a penny. He said, Aditya, how will you do it? I said, every bidder for a year, I'll charge 10,000 rupees. They'll get 724 support, everything. We had, when we left, about 40, 50,000 people we had. Imagine, multiply 50,000 with the 10,000 rupees, 5 crore rupiah, 5 crore is there. And that gives me a different kind of, the more my service gets used, I'll start getting money from that. I don't need government money. But that will not go with the established way of control. It is not about what is the right way. It is about the poor man's view of controlling the entire process. And that's the problem.
Thank you. Deepesh ji, tell us about, from your perspective, one area of where an investor can focus if looking at Nepal, and then also what would be a value proposition that you would provide to them?
Yes. First of all, I think all of we agree that for the digital economy, the basic foundation is the e-governance system. For example, in one of the countries in the world, they are saying that they are providing the proactive government. What does that mean? A child born, and after the birth of the child, in 2 days, they got the message from the government that, congratulations, you got the baby girl. In which account, according to our country, you are subjected for the child benefit. Tell us in which account you want to deposit it. So the people is not going to take the service. The government is going to provide the service to the people. So how it will be possible? And for our economy, for the digital economy, the basic thing we have to make is that we have to make the e-governance ecosystem. And for e-governance ecosystem, we need to invest in digital public infrastructure. We can learn from the India stack model. We can learn from the country like Rwanda. We can learn from the country like Estonia, where the public and private sector work together and they make the long-term projects, and they work for the viable projects. So, and another thing, there is the difference between digital government and the digital society. We are not only trying to make the digital government. Digital government means it provides the public service delivery, public services to the people. The digital society means when we establish data exchange platform here in Nepal, the data from that data exchange platform can be used by the private sector. See, in our situation, we are storing our address many times. Who is the owner of the address of the citizen? We are trying to make the custodian of the ownership of the data. So if we refine the data of what we collect from the government, then based on that data, based on that standardization, the private sector can use that data to make the AI software. If we make our system, that open data, if we bring the open data policy, then that can be used by the private sector for the business. So yes, regarding the investment by the private sector or the foreign investors, there are two main verticals. One is education and another is health, which contribute for the sustainable growth. And it will be the long-term investment. There can be the AI softwares which will screen the cancer, or there can be the e-learning courses. So these can be the areas for the long-term investment by the private or the foreign sectors. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Let me go to Manoharji. Your view on one area of investment focus and one value proposition.
Siddharth, it's very difficult to pick up one area of focus. The usual suspects come to mind, especially when you're exploring investment avenues. Of course, these are software development and IT-enabled services and BPMs and innovative innovation in R&D and the like. But there's, I think, opportunity also exists in the area of developing proof of concepts around these emerging technologies. As it happens, I think we have not as yet seen compelling business cases around some of the emerging tech, like, for example, AI also. I think there's a lot of scope, a lot of headroom for improvement, especially integrating it in our socio-economic fabric, and there's a lot of room there for innovation and all that. So in terms of areas, these are the areas that come to my mind. But then again, I'm especially encouraged by Mr. Jha's assertion that, look, at the end of the day, this is digital economy, and in digital economy, the factor of production is skill set and competencies. So I think we need to look at it from that perspective. And I'm not fixated on the FDI per se, I must tell you. I mean, I'm more interested in investment per se, you know. So it can be domestic investment, it can be foreign investment, but I think we mentioned about reskilling, retooling, upskilling, and the like. I think that's very important. And the other thing I want to share one encounter that I had with one of the very bright upcoming entrepreneur when we were having lunch. And looks from the IT perspective, it appears that it sounds that as if Kathmandu is the center of gravity and everything's happening here. Mm. And all of a sudden, we were talking about Pokhara. I mean, this there's an interesting. We're talking about interesting application, interesting product called RestroX. I think I don't know if it's politically correct to name the product here, but I think at the end of the day, we should be picking up the winners as well. So let me name the product RestroX. I think I was really impressed by the level of the support that the project is enjoying globally. It's about managing restaurants and all that, and it's this emerging from, of all places, from Pokhara. So it looks like on the whole things are looking up for Nepal. And also there is another platform called Programmage. That is online training platform that teaches you Java and Python. So the number there is also amazing, 20 million users. And again, that's a product out of Nepal. So again, look at the potential there. So I think the potential exists. And of course, it's very difficult to pick up one area, but again, in terms of value proposition, I would say that it's the skill set that exists. And I'm not talking about existing skill set. I'm also interested in the potential of this, the potential that exists in nurturing the skill set so that they can compete in global scale. I have already given you a few of the winners there. I can give you more, but for the want of time, I will stop here.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. Bhupendraji, over to you.
Thank you, Siddharth. I mean, I have many potential areas to say, but as you said, we stick with the one. Before saying that, I just want to give you some countries' data. I mean, how we are in the industry, ICT industry as a telecom regulator. Currently, our mobile data consumption is 3.7 GB, and ARPU is $1.31, and smartphone penetration is 75%, and IoT penetration is in mobile telcos is less than 1%, and our total market revenue is 770 million. And the other thing is, as we are gradually increasing towards 5G, and our current mobile handset maturity in the network is around 10%. Having said all this, and the other thing in this industry that spectrum in the Nepal is, this is actively used is only 12.5% as of today. And that we have huge resource in spectrum that is available for investor, and then that can cater any demand from the investor as well. Having said all these things, this is the duopoly market, mature duopoly market. I see huge demand of third player as a potential area to look into. The other thing is what will be the value proposition? I see that as a market, this is a very progressive market. In digital economy, as I saw some data that 40% of our GDP, the mobile banking transaction is around 40% of our GDP. And as I said earlier, that we have a young, talent, very good, human resource, and sizable market as well. And that we are between the two countries, then we can expand our business to these countries also. This will be the value proposition for our country. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you to all the panelists for excellent responses and views and sharing your perspectives. Maybe just to pick up on a couple of themes and just add a quick word from my side is, I think this one idea of investing in the youth, investing in the talent pool, building up the human capital, I think we all agree that this is really the future is in the people. And as many opportunities we can create, no matter where they are, not just in the Kathmandu Valley, but outside in the rest of the country as well, the better. And in this, I think, the couple of us talked a little bit about the role that the diaspora can play, not just to bring back their talent and their expertise, or their money, but also to share and to act as role models for young people here and talk about where they can go in their future. And something that I'm very glad to see, and I know some of you are here already playing a role in bringing the diaspora, and you yourselves being part of the global Nepali network, bringing your own experiences and resources to that conversation. So I want to also personally recognize you all for that in that. But then finally, I think the role that leadership can play, of course, we have, Honorable Minister here with us. We have the head of the regulatory agency, head of the e-governance commission. I think a lot rests on your shoulders to really take the country forward, create the continuing policy environment and business climate here. Something, again, I think we all talked about a bit. But where I personally have seen, not just we talked a little bit about the financial services, which are really well developed in Nepal, much better than some of the countries across Asia Pacific, in fact. Nepal is certainly emerging as a leader on that front. On AI, where there are now multiple companies here that are doing wonderfully in terms of a global presence as well, in terms of business process outsourcing and a number of other areas, cybersecurity and so on, where they're already leaders. Manojji, as you also mentioned, a few examples. I think great potential, great stories that can come out of this. So I think, Dipesh, you wanted to add something?
Yes. What will happen in coming years is after the introduction of this data exchange platform, the government will ask each vertical to share some of the data to the data exchange platform. For example, in some of the laws are prohibiting for the data sharing. For example, the law concerned for the election commission, it says that the data collected for the election purpose is not allowed to use for any other purpose. So after the amendment of such acts, what will happen? The data from the East vertical will be shared in the data exchange platform. It means that there will not be silos. So based on that, in East vertical, for example, in health ministry, in the coming days, what we have to do is that we have to do business process re-engineering of East vertical. We have to change the way how we provide service to the people. So that can be the huge investment area for the private sector and the foreign investors. Because doing the business process in East vertical, not only in federal ministry, but in province and even in the local government, that can be the huge area of investment. I just want to add this. Thank you.
Sure. No, thank you. And I know we're going a bit over time, so I want to close here again with a word of thanks to all the panelists, our presenter. Thank you, Karthik, for joining us. And I know the Honorable Minister will now make some comments, so I'll hand it back to our MC. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, audience.
Much. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for our fantastic moderator and our panelists. Thank you very much to our moderator for summing up such crucial and important points very beautifully. I would now like to request our session chair, Honorable Minister Rekha Sharma, Minister for Communication and Information Technology, Government of Nepal, for her kind remarks. माननीय मन्त्रीज्यूलाई आफ्नो मन्तव्य राखिदिनुहुनको लागि म अब हार्दिक अनुरोध गर्दछु.
धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद. नेपालले आयोजना गरेको लगानी सम्मेलन 2024 मा यस अन्तर्गत आजको यो महत्त्वपूर्ण कार्यक्रममा र यो सत्रमा सहभागी हुनुभएका सबै प्यानलिस्टहरू, मोडरेटर लगायत यहाँ सम्पूर्ण रूपमा यस क्षेत्रका आईसीटी सेक्टरका विज्ञहरू, कर्मचारी साथीहरू लगायत सबै उपस्थित महानुभावहरू, सबभन्दा पहिले म ऐतिहासिक सम्मेलनको यो महत्त्वपूर्ण सत्रमा भाग लिएर महत्त्वपूर्ण विषयवस्तु प्रस्तुत गर्ने प्रविधि क्षेत्रका विज्ञ, विभिन्न देशबाट आउनुभएका अतिथि तथा सहभागी सबैलाई हार्दिक स्वागत गर्न चाहन्छु. सूचना र प्रविधि क्षेत्रमा भएको विकास र विस्तारसँगै नेपालमा पनि यसको प्रयोगमा उल्लेख्य रूपमा बढोत्तरी भएको छ. विभिन्न सार्वजनिक सेवामा विद्युतीय प्रणालीको उपयोग बढेको छ. दैनिक जीवनमा प्रयोग हुने आधारभूत सेवादेखि राष्ट्रिय र अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय महत्त्वका कार्यहरूमा विद्युतीय प्रणालीको उपयोग पनि बढेको छ. राष्ट्रिय परिचय पत्र, एमआरपी, सवारी चालक अनुमति पत्र, नागरिक एप, एकीकृत कार्यालय व्यवस्थापन प्रणाली, कम्पनी दर्ता तथा नवीकरण, कर भुक्तानी जस्ता सेवा प्रवाहका कार्य विद्युतीय प्रणालीबाटै गर्ने गरिएको छ. डिजिटल भुक्तानी प्रणालीको विकास र उपयोगलाई अझै तीव्र र प्रभावकारी बनाउन सरकारले आधारभूत डिजिटल पूर्वाधारको रूपमा देशभर दूरसञ्चार सेवाको पहुँच विस्तारलाई जोड दिएको छ. देशका अधिकांश भूभागमा दूरसञ्चार र अधिकांश वडा केन्द्रमा ब्रोडब्यान्ड इन्टरनेट पुगेको छ भने विद्युतको देशभर सहज आपूर्ति भइरहेको छ. नेपाल सरकारले सञ्चार तथा सूचना प्रविधि क्षेत्रलाई आधारभूत आवश्यकता र राष्ट्रिय प्राथमिकताको रूपमा स्वीकार गरेर सबै विकास नीतिलाई तदनुकूल अघि बढाउने सङ्कल्प गरेको छ. सूचना प्रविधि उद्योगमा लगानी गर्न नेपाली मात्रै होइन, विदेशी लगानीकर्ताका लागि पनि नेपाल धेरै हिसाबले उपयुक्त स्थल हो. हामीसँग सूचना प्रविधि उद्योगका लागि अनुकूल भौगोलिक हावापानी त छँदैछ. दक्ष जनशक्तिको उपलब्धताका कारण कम लागतमा आईटी उद्योगहरू सञ्चालन गर्न सकिने प्रचुर सम्भावना रहेको छ. प्रत्येक वर्ष 10,000 भन्दा बढी नेपाली युवा सूचना प्रविधिको क्षेत्रमा थप भइरहेका छन् र अहिले पनि झन्डै 1 लाख युवाहरू सूचना प्रविधि सेवा निर्यात क्षेत्रमा क्रियाशील रहेकाले यहाँ दक्ष जनशक्तिको अभाव छैन. सूचना प्रविधिको क्षेत्रमा लगानी वृद्धि गर्ने गरी आवश्यक नीति, कानुन र पूर्वाधार विकासका लागि सरकार प्रतिबद्ध छ. साइबर स्पेसलाई सुरक्षित र व्यवस्थित गर्ने उद्देश्यले पहिलो पटक साइबर सुरक्षा नीति 2080 जारी गरिएको छ भने राष्ट्रिय साइबर सुरक्षा केन्द्र स्थापना भएको छ। त्यस्तै सूचना प्रविधि तथा साइबर सुरक्षा विधेयक तर्जुमाको काम भइरहेको छ। डिजिटल पूर्वाधारको महत्त्वपूर्ण आधार दूरसञ्चार क्षेत्रलाई समयानुकूल व्यवस्थित गर्न दूरसञ्चार ऐनको पुनरावलोकन गर्ने काम भइरहेको छ। दूरसञ्चार पूर्वाधारको क्षेत्रमा भइरहेको दोहोरो लगानीको अन्त्य गर्न पूर्वाधार सहप्रयोगको नीतिलाई आवश्यक पुनरावलोकन गरी प्रभावकारी कार्यान्वयन गर्न जरुरी भएको छ। दूरसञ्चार क्षेत्रमा 5G लगायत नवीनतम प्रविधि र नवप्रवर्तनलाई प्रोत्साहन गर्ने गरी दूरसञ्चार सेवाको रेडियो फ्रिक्वेन्सी नीति लागू गरिएको छ। सूचना तथा सञ्चार प्रविधि नीति 2072, दूरसञ्चार नीति 2060 र ब्रोडब्यान्ड नीति 2071 लाई पुनरावलोकन गरी एकीकृत नीति तर्जुमा गर्ने कार्य भइरहेको छ। निजी क्षेत्रबाट डाटा सेन्टर सञ्चालन गर्न उपयुक्त वातावरण सिर्जना गर्न कानुन तथा मापदण्डको तत्काल तर्जुमा गरिनेछ। लगानी प्रवर्धन गर्ने गरी अन्य आवश्यक कानुनको तर्जुमा गर्ने काम पनि सम्बन्धित मन्त्रालयहरूबाट भइरहेको छ। तत्कालै पनि यसै लगानी सम्मेलनलाई मध्यनजर गरी केही कानुन अध्यादेश मार्फत संशोधन गरिएको छ। नेपालमा बढ्दै गइरहेको सूचना प्रविधि सम्बन्धी सेवा निर्यातलाई प्रवर्धन गर्न सूचना प्रविधि उद्योग र स्टार्टअपहरूलाई एकै थलोबाट सञ्चालन गर्ने गरी आवश्यक पूर्वाधारको अभाव रहेकाले चाँडोभन्दा चाँडो आइटी हबको विकास गर्न जरुरी छ। यसबाट देशभित्र र बाहिरका लगानीकर्ताको पुँजी तथा सूचना प्रविधि क्षेत्रका दक्ष जनशक्तिको ज्ञान, सिप र श्रमको एकीकृत परिचालन गर्ने वातावरण बन्नेछ भन्ने हाम्रो विश्वास छ। सूचना प्रविधि उद्योगको प्रवर्धनका लागि देशभित्र र बाहिरका साना ठुला सबै लगानीकर्तासँग सहकार्य गर्न सरकार तयार छ। विश्वस्तरमा भएका एआई, क्लाउड कम्प्युटिङ, आइओटी, ब्लकचेन जस्ता नयाँ तथा परिवर्तनकारी प्रविधिहरूको विकास र विस्तारबाट नेपालले कसरी लाभ लिने भनेर पनि हामीले तयारी गरिरहेका छौँ। नेपालमा आर्थिक समृद्धिका रूपमा कृषि, जलस्रोत र पर्यटनलाई लिँदै यसका आधारमा गरिने उत्पादन र उत्पादकत्व वृद्धिलाई आर्थिक विकासको सूचकको रूपमा हेर्दै आएका छौँ। अब हामीले आर्थिक विकासको थप आधारको रूपमा सूचना र प्रविधिलाई जोडेर लैजाने नीति अख्तियार गर्नु जरुरी छ र यसमा सरकारले प्राथमिकता पनि राखेको छ। सरकार डिजिटल नेपाल फ्रेमवर्क कार्यान्वयन मार्फत कृषि, ऊर्जा, पर्यटन, शिक्षा, स्वास्थ्य, वित्त, शहरी पूर्वाधार लगायत सबै क्षेत्रलाई डिजिटलाइजेसन गर्दै डिजिटल रूपान्तरण मार्फत आर्थिक समृद्धि हासिल गर्न चाहन्छ। लगानी सम्मेलन मार्फत हामीले सञ्चार तथा सूचना प्रविधि मन्त्रालयको तर्फबाट डाटा सेन्टर, आइटी टेक्नो पार्क, कम्प्युटर हार्डवेयर एसेम्बली प्लान्ट, आइसिटी ट्रेनिङ सेन्टर, डिजिटल सर्भिस सेन्टर, स्मार्टफोन म्यानुफ्याक्चर तथा एसेम्बल प्लान्ट, इन्क्युबेसन सेन्टर र फिल्म सिटी गरी महत्त्वपूर्ण 8वटा परियोजना अगाडि सारेका छौँ। हामीले अगाडि सारेका परियोजनामा लगानीको वातावरण बनाउन म लगानीकर्ताहरूको विशेष ध्यान आकर्षण गराउन चाहन्छु र यसबाहेक पनि लगानीकर्ताको रुचि अनुसार आइसिटीको सेक्टरमा लगानीकर्ताहरूको रुचि अनुसार थप कार्यक्रमहरू पनि हामी अगाडि सार्न सक्नेछौँ। र यहाँ अहिले हामीले जसरी हाम्रा पानलिस्टहरूले र मोडरेटरले पनि केही विषयहरू उठान गर्नुभएको छ र नेपालको विषयमा हाम्रो विष्टजी र भण्डारीजीले केही कुराहरू यहाँ राख्नु पनि भएको छ र म यहाँहरूलाई आग्रह गर्न चाहन्छु, यहाँहरूले जति पनि विषय आइसिटी सेक्टरका विषयमा हाम्रा नीति, नियम, कानुन जो केही समस्याहरू छन् भन्ने विषयमा जे उठाउनु भएको छ र संसारमा जसरी सूचना र प्रविधिको विकास भएको छ र सँगसँगै हामी दुईटा देश, ठुला देश, आइटीमा विकास गरेका देश इन्डिया र चाइनाको बीचमा पनि छौँ। त्यसकारणले गर्दा हामी सबै हाम्रा मित्र राष्ट्रहरूको जसरी आइसिटीमा विकास गर्नुभएको छ उहाँहरूको आकर्षण नेपाललाई बनाउन चाहन्छौँ। लगानी सम्मेलनकै उद्घाटनमा पहिलो सम्झौताका रूपमा हामीले अगाडि सारेको डाटा सेन्टर निर्माण तथा सञ्चालनको परियोजनामा सहकार्य गर्ने सम्झौतामा हस्ताक्षर भएको छ। यसका लागि म नेपालको बिएलसी ग्रुप र भारतको एउटा डाटा सर्भिसेसलाई हार्दिक धन्यवाद पनि दिन चाहन्छु। लगानी सम्मेलनमा सोकेस गरिएका बाहेक डिजिटल रूपान्तरणका लागि सहयोग हुने अन्य कुनै आवश्यक परियोजना पहिचान गरेर लगानी गर्न सकिनेछ। यसका लागि म देशभित्र र बाहिरका सम्पूर्ण लगानीकर्ताहरूलाई हार्दिक अनुरोध पनि गर्न चाहन्छु। डिजिटल फाउन्डेसनका डिजिटल पूर्वाधारहरूलाई सुरक्षित र अन्तर्क्रियात्मक बनाउँदै समग्र प्रणालीप्रतिको विश्वासलाई वृद्धि गरी सुशासन कायम गर्नु पनि सरकारको दायित्व रहेको छ। त्यसका लागि प्रविधि र प्रणालीहरूको सुरक्षित तथा जवाफदेही प्रयोग एवं डिजिटल इकोसिस्टम निर्माणलाई प्राथमिकतामा राखिएको छ। वैदेशिक लगानीकर्तालाई आकर्षित गर्न आवश्यक परियोजनाहरूको पहिचान र लगानीका नयाँ मोडलहरूको खोजीमा पनि सरकारले ध्यान दिनेछ। हामीले अपनाएको सार्वजनिक निजी साझेदारीलाई प्राथमिकतामा राखेर अन्य देशहरूले गरेका सफल प्रयोगबाट समेत लाभ लिने गरी लगानीका मोडलहरू तयार गर्दै लैजान सकिनेछ। मुनाफा आर्जनको वातावरण बनाएर लगानी र लगानीकर्ताको सुरक्षा गर्दै संसारकै उँचो हिमाली मुलुक नेपाललाई सूचना प्रविधिको अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय हब बनाउन सरकार दृढ सङ्कल्पित र प्रतिबद्ध छ। सूचना प्रविधि क्षेत्रको लगानी मार्फत हुने डिजिटल रूपान्तरण र समृद्धिको यो महाअभियानमा सहभागी हुन र यसबाट मनज्ञ लाभ लिन म देशभित्र तथा बाहिरका सम्पूर्ण लगानीकर्ताहरूलाई आह्वान पनि गर्न चाहन्छु। अन्त्यमा यो महत्त्वपूर्ण र ऐतिहासिक कार्यक्रममा भाग लिएर नेपालको डिजिटल रूपान्तरणको महाअभियानमा योगदान गर्ने सबैलाई नेपाल सरकारको तर्फबाट हार्दिक आभार व्यक्त गर्न चाहन्छु, धन्यवाद भन्न चाहन्छु र यहाँहरू सबैलाई फेरि पनि एकपटक नेपाल आइसिटीको विकासको लागि आइसिटी क्षेत्रमा लगानी गर्नको निम्ति अत्यन्तै उपयुक्त मुलुक हो। यहाँ दक्ष जनशक्तिको अभाव छैन र यहाँ जुन नीति कानुनहरू छन् सरकारले परिवर्तन गर्दै लगेको छ। यसका निम्ति आग्रह गर्न चाहन्छु र यहाँहरू सबैलाई कार्यक्रममा जसरी आफ्ना महत्त्वपूर्ण विचारहरू राख्नुभयो त्यसका निम्ति सबै हाम्रा प्यानलिस्ट मोडरेटर लगायत सबै साथीहरूलाई हार्दिक धन्यवाद भन्न चाहन्छु र आजको हाम्रो यो कार्यक्रमको पनि समापन भएको घोषणा गर्न चाहन्छु। धन्यवाद, अभिवादन, नमस्कार।
माननीय मन्त्रीज्यूलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद। उहाँको गरिमामय उपस्थितिले हामीलाई थप उत्साह अवश्य पनि दिएको छ। Our deepest gratitude to our session chair, Honorable Minister, for her presence and participation in this particular session where we talked about ICT. May I now please request our CEO of Investment Board, Nepal, Mr. Sushil Bhatta, to kindly join us onto the stage to present a token of appreciation to our session chair. माननीय मन्त्रीज्यूलाई हामी धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छौँ। आजको यस कार्यक्रममा यहाँको उपस्थितिले हामीलाई अवश्य पनि थप ऊर्जा दिएको छ। माननीय मन्त्रीज्यूलाई यो मायाको चिनो ग्रहण गरिदिनु हुनका लागि हामी हार्दिक अनुरोध गर्दछौँ। यसैगरी अब माननीय मन्त्रीज्यूलाई हाम्रा प्रेजेन्टर र मोडरेटरहरूलाई मायाको चिनो दिइदिनु हुनका लागि पनि हामी हार्दिक अनुरोध गर्न चाहन्छौँ। Thank you to our presenter, Mr. Karthik Appadurai from DTTI India. Thank you very much, sir, for your fantastic presentation. That was quite insightful about the ICT sector and scenario in Nepal and in South Asia. Thank you very much to Mr. Karthik. Our moderator, Mr. Siddharth Raja, Senior Digital Development Specialist at the World Bank Group. Thank you so much for flawlessly managing this session and wrapping up the session on time. Also, our gratitude to Mr. Dipesh Bishta, CEO of E-Governance Commission. Sarलाई पनि अगाडि आएर यो मायाको चिनो लिइदिनु हुनका लागि हामी हार्दिक अनुरोध गर्दछौँ। May I also request Mr. Bhupendra Bhandari, Chairman of the Nepal Telecommunications Authority, to kindly step forward and accept this token of appreciation. And thank you very much, sir, for your presence here today. We'd also like to now request Mr. Jabor Kayumov, CEO and Managing Director of Ncell Axiata Limited, to kindly accept this token of appreciation. And thank you very much to Mr. Jabor for highlighting how important the youth are in developing the ICT sector in the world and in Nepal as well. May I please also request Dr. Aditya Jha, an Indo-Nepalese Canadian serial entrepreneur looking and investing in ICT. Thank you very much, sir, for your optimistic remarks when it comes to investing in ICT in Nepal. May I also please request Mr. Manor Kumar Bhattrai, our ICT expert, to kindly step forward and accept this token of appreciation for your presence and your participation here today, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll wrap this session with a group photograph. So requesting all our distinguished guests to kindly join in a group photograph. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It is absolutely impossible to not feel a sense of excitement talking about the boundless opportunities that lie ahead for us, the vibrant landscape of ICT investment in Nepal, and the promise, profit, and potential that it offers. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us in this sector. We hope to seize these exciting opportunities and embark on a journey of transformation together. So a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for all our distinguished guests, panelists, and for you for being a fantastic audience with us. We'd now like to announce that there's a 30-minute tea break, so definitely go grab yourself a cup of tea and coffee to energize yourself for the closing session that will follow shortly. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you in 30 minutes. Thank you very much.